You're watching The Defense Dynamics, decoding the future of warfare, giving the Indian perspective through defense technology and diplomacy. I'm your host, Danveer Singh from New Delhi. In this episode, we will tell you about the HJT-36 Sitara trainer to fighter gamble, the Great Nicobar Project, Star Missile, India's supersonic sparring partner, and the futuristic B-21 Raider, the America's 6th generation bomber. But before that, the major global defense headlines first. India's Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi inaugurated the 16th Combined Commanders Conference in Kolkata. The meet, held once every 2 years, is the top-level forum where India's civilian and military leadership chart the roadmap for future preparedness. This year's theme, Year of Reforms, Transformation for the Future, puts focus on jointness, Atmanirbharta, and innovation to strengthen operational readiness. The Indian Navy added more teeth to its fleet with induction of Androth, the anti-submarine warfare vessel built by GRSE Kolkata with over 80% indigenous content, is the second in the series of 8 ships. Armed with advanced torpedoes and rockets, Androth will sharpen India's edge in the Indian Ocean amidst China's growing presence. India's Defence Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh has cleared Defence Procurement Manual 2025. This new policy aims to fast-track revenue procurements, simplify processes for domestic industry, and encourage innovations. It also stresses on jointness across 3 services, ensuring the armed forces stay combat-ready for modern warfare challenges. Japan is expanding the overseas footprint of its air self-defense force. For the first time, F-15 fighter jets will not only go to United Kingdom, but also head to Canada and Germany. Tokyo says the move highlights the growing security link between Euro-Atlantic and the Indo-Pacific regions. The Czech Republic has signed a major deal with Germany for Leopard 2 Alpha 8 main battle tanks. The 44 tanks will be delivered between 2028 and 2031 with an option of 14 more. The deal is worth over $1.5 billion. It mirrors German Army's high standards and includes active protection system, training and logistics support. India's aerospace major, the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, is exploring a bold shift. It is turning its HJT-36 Sitara trainer into a light attack fighter aircraft. If this move materializes, it could make India a serious player in the global low-cost combat aircraft market where affordability and versatility are in high demand. So let's decode why this matters both for India's defense industry and for cost-conscious militaries around the world. The Hindustan Aeronautics Limited's HJT-36 Sitara was designed as an intermediate jet trainer for the Indian Air Force. Now, the HAL is evaluating this aircraft for a combat variant called Yashas. This it is doing by adding hardpoints, weapon systems, and modern avionics. The modified Sitara or Yashas could carry rockets, bombs, gun pods, and precision-guided munitions. With its twin-seat cockpit, it could double as a lead-in fighter trainer, preparing pilots for frontline jets while also serving in combat. Across Africa, Latin America, and Southeast Asia, militaries operate on tight budgets. Aircraft priced under $20 to $30 million are high in demand. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited hopes Yashas can compete with Super Tucano, Czech L-39NG, and Korea's FA-50 in this segment. For India, this project could strengthen its role as an exporter of affordable air power. Success would add to the growing list of exports, from Tejas jets and Dhruv helicopters to BrahMos missiles, and now Yashas. The light attack Yashas could also serve India's own needs. It could perform border patrol, counter-insurgency, and close air support, freeing up Rafales and Su-30 MKIs for more demanding strategic missions. The Yashas faces challenges: engine thrust limitations, survivability in contested airspace, and tough global certification standards. Past delays in the project also raise concern about HAL's timelines. HAL's vision of turning the HJT-36 Sitara into a light attack fighter aircraft reflects India's determination to innovate, and if it is successful, it could create a niche for India in the global budget fighter market. Let's decode one of India's most ambitious maritime infrastructure initiative, the Great Nicobar Project. A project that blends economy, security and strategy at one of the world's most pivotal choke points, the Strait of Malacca. Every year, nearly 60,000 ships pass through the Strait of Malacca, carrying over 3.5 trillion of trade. This narrow passage is the heartbeat of global commerce, and overlooking it is India's first major outpost, Great Nicobar Island. The Galatia Bay, India plans a massive transshipment hub, placing itself directly on the artery of global trade, reducing reliance thus on Colombo and Singapore. China's shadow looms large in these waters. From reported intelligence facilities at Myanmar's Great Cocoa Island, barely 50 kilometers from Indian territory, to Beijing's belt and road-linked ports across the Indo-Pacific. By building naval, air and surveillance infrastructure on Great Nicobar, India sends a strong signal. This is not just commerce, it is deterrence and resilience. And it ties directly into Quad cooperation and Indo-Pacific economic framework. The Union government's 72,000 crore rupees blueprint includes a transshipment container port at Galatia Bay, a dual-use airport at Campbell Bay, expansion of INS Bas and INS Kohasa for fighters and surveillance aircraft, and parallel investments in jetties, shipyards and logistics hubs. Together, this strengthens both commerce and combat readiness. The crowded Malacca Strait faces risks of piracy, collisions and emergencies. Past cases like the 2011 Somali pirate attack or 2021 Zaphir-Lumus collision proved the need for safe havens. A Nicobar hub can serve as a rescue, repair and a reinforcement node. And with Car Nicobar's Mas port near the 10-degree channel, India could strengthen surveillance across key sea lanes. The Nicobars are home to indigenous tribes, Shomfin, Javaras, protected by laws like the Andaman and Nicobar Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Regulation of 1956. The authorities insist development will proceed without compromising cultural autonomy, but ecological safeguards are non-negotiable. This is a fragile biodiversity hotspot close to Barren Island, India's only active volcano.
A Nicobar transshipment hub could slash India's dependence on foreign ports, cutting exports cost and transit times. Its proximity to Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia and Sri Lanka makes it a regional gateway. Tourism, logistics and ship repair industries could transform one of India's most isolated regions into an economic growth engine.
The Great Nicobar Project is about turning the geography into geoeconomics, a fusion of commercial power and military strength with control over a choke point, boosted trade capacity and stronger deterrence. India is making Nicobar a game changer in its Indo-Pacific strategy. India's armed forces are about to get a new sparring partner in the skies, the Star missile. It's a supersonic target missile system. It's a system that mimics enemy missile attacks, challenges our interception skills, and strengthens India's march towards missile mastery. Star is designed to fly like the enemy, from altitudes of 100 meters to 10 kilometers across ranges of 55 to 175 kilometers and flight durations up to 200 seconds. It executes sea skimming runs just 12 feet above the waves and dives from over 30,000 feet, recreating the most dangerous missile profiles. This realism is crucial for training the Navy and the Indian Air Force in live interception against fast, agile supersonic threats. At the heart of STAR lies a breakthrough, an indigenously developed liquid fuel ramjet propulsion system using a booster rocket for launch and then a ramjet for sustained flight. STAR delivers extended range and endurance comparable to cutting-edge systems like the Astra Mark III. This technology also lays the foundation for India's next-generation supersonic weapons.
STAR comes in two principal variants. The first is the air-launched version, wherein it is fired from fighters like Tejas, simulating air-to-air, air-to-ground threats, including anti-radiation and anti-evac roles. Second is the ground-launched version, wherein a vehicle or a platform-based STAR is ideal for rugged terrains without major infrastructure. Together, these two variants allow the Army, Navy and the Air Force to train across tactical and strategic mission profiles.
By replacing expensive foreign imports, STAR provides a cost-effective, reusable training system. It embodies Atmanirbhar Bharat, reducing dependency, boosting indigenous production, and opening pathways for dual-use strike capabilities in the future.
Currently in Phase 3 development, STAR is undergoing full system integration and combat simulations. Limited production is on the horizon, with development expected to elevate India's tri-services combat readiness to global standards. And beyond training, STAR's technical base could evolve into a real offensive weapons for surpassing enemies' radars and surveillance systems.
STAR is more than a missile. It's the mirror of threats India must defeat. By combining indigenous propulsion, realistic threat simulation, and dual-use potential, India is not just training for tomorrow, but shaping the future of supersonic warfare. In a major milestone for United States air power, the second B-21 Raider stealth bomber has taken off to the skies. With this flight, world's first sixth-generation bomber enters a decisive test phase, one that could redefine strategic deterrence and global strike for decades to come.
The second B-21 launched from Palmdale, California and landed at Edwards Air Force Base, joining the combined test force. With two aircraft now flying, the United States Air Force is expanding trials, validating sensor fusion, stealth signatures, weapons integration, and data link resilience under conditions designed to mimic peer adversary threats.
Now, with the help of video wall, let's try and compare American B-2 bomber with the futuristic B-21 bombers. We'll talk about their general characteristics, their armament, and the performance. To start with the general characteristics, we can see this is B-21 and that is B-2 bomber. Both are crewed by 2 crew members each. Next is the empty weight. Empty weight of B-21 is 70,000 pounds, while that of B-2 is 158,000 pounds. So this is a very major difference as far as weight is concerned of these two aircraft. The futuristic aircraft is much lighter. As far as the power plant is concerned, B-21 is powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney jet engines, and they are without afterburner, which means that they are more fuel efficient. When it is to do with B-2, they are powered by 4 General Electric engines, and they are also without the afterburning turbofans. Basically, they also economize on fuel with these 4 jet engines. B-21 Pratt & Whitney engines each produces up to 120 kilonewton, while the General Electric engine produces 77 kilonewton of thrust, each of them. So 77 into 4 and 120 into 2. So that is the thrust available with these aircrafts respectively. Now let's talk about the performance of this aircraft. Maximum speed both these aircrafts can achieve is almost similar at sea level. However, B-21 can achieve 0.8 Mach, while a B-2 can achieve 0.95 Mach, a little higher than the B-21. And as far as the service ceiling is concerned, both are similar. Both can achieve a height of 50,000 feet above the mean sea level. Now let's talk about the armament of these two aircrafts. Firstly, the hard points. B-21 has got one main weapons bay, while B-2 has got two weapon bays to carry maximum ordnance payload. B-21 carries 20,000 pounds of ordnance, while B-2 carries 60,000 pounds of ordnance. As far as armament is concerned, both of them have a similar profile. Both can carry a similar profile. That is, both can carry AGM-181 LRSO missiles and Mark 82 JDAM GPS guided bombs. And various other JDAM family of munition can be carried by both these aircrafts, including B-83 nuclear bombs. Nuclear bombs also can be carried by both these aircraft, which makes it a strategic bomber.
The Raider represents a generational leap in stealth. Its skin uses advanced composites and radar transparent structures with edge-aligned geometry for multi-band stealth. Unlike B-2, its coatings are easier to maintain in austere bases, boosting readiness and survivability. Fully embedded antennas, sensors, and a next-generation defensive avionics suite gives the Raider autonomy to identify and jam threats without escorts. Its open systems architecture enables software-defined upgrades, integrating artificial intelligence-driven mission planning and decision aids for reduced crew workload and greater situational awareness. The B-21 will carry both nuclear and conventional payloads, from B-61 12 bombs and the upcoming AGM-181 LRSO missile to future hypersonic weapons. It also operates as a full-spectrum network node, linking space, air, land, sea, and cyber domains in real time, commanding autonomous wingmen in strike packages. The Raider will eventually replace B-1B Lancer and B-2 Spirit, consolidating the bomber fleet into a more survivable and sustainable force. Compared to these legacy platforms, B-21 offers better stealth against radar and infrared, greater range without forward basing, and easier maintenance and turnaround.
At least 100 Raiders are planned, with Ellsworth AFB as the first operational base. 6 prototypes in production, with accelerated flight trials over the next 12 to 18 months at Edwards AFB, testing mission profiles for both Indo-Pacific and European theaters.
As USA's adversaries build dense air defense networks, B-21 Raider will be America's answer. Stealthier, smarter, and more connected than any other bomber before. It is said to become the backbone of US air power into 2050s, a 6th generation shadow in the skies that redefines deterrence. The arrival of India's Star missile and America's B-21 Raider signals a new chapter in air power evolution. Star is not just a training tool, it mirrors the agility of enemy supersonic threats, thus giving India a self-reliant edge in combat preparedness. On the other side, B-21 embodies 6th generation stealth and networked strike, reshaping US deterrence for contested skies. Together, these two stories highlight a global race to outpace modern air defenses with speed, stealth, and adaptability. For India, STAR is a leap in indigenous mastery. For the United States, the Raider is about sustaining dominance, and both redefine future warfare. With this, we come to the end of this episode of Defense Dynamics. Thank you for joining us, and do post your comments with hashtag #DDWithDanvi. See you next week with more defense stories and geopolitical developments. Till then, goodbye and take care.